Hey folks, welcome to Schneider Time. Today we're going to talk about whether or not we can do things on our own. And the answer to that question is let's talk about individualism. Individualism. This is going to be really hard for me to do. Individualism is a philosophical approach to life that says that the individual should be free to do things on their own. Generally, it's a reference to living life without a lot of heavy government restrictions. But oftentimes, what it boils down to is look out for yourself, self-reliance, independence. You don't need nobody, that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of good things to that. I heard a speaker the other day talk to a bunch of teachers and said that our goal should be to help produce independent adults, and I totally agree. I want you guys to leave school knowing how to think for yourselves, how to learn for yourselves. Like if you think learning stops when you graduate, you are sorely mistaken. You should be learning whether you go to college, whether you get into an in-demand kind of thinking career, like with lots of books and pens. You're always thinking. I had a friend come over work on my heater a while back, and it's not a job that requires tons of astrophysics, but there's a lot of thought, a lot of ingenuity, a lot of thinking goes on in those jobs. Every job requires thinking. Every role in society requires some level of thought and care. And so we're always learning, we're always growing. And I want you guys to be able to do that on your own. You shouldn't have to, when you guys leave high school, you shouldn't need your hand held to learn and to grow and to develop. We're supposed to be teaching you that process here at school, how to be an independent, thinking, learning, reasoning adult. But I don't want you guys to think you guys can't get help. And I think that's part of the problem of individualism. America is a very individualistic country. Some of you we don't talk about it a lot in U.S. history, but one of the things in our book is this author, Horatio Alger. Yeah, that's his name. And that's his picture. And he wrote a series of books for kids, mostly for boys. And they're like the classic rags to riches stories where like a poor kid works hard and makes it on his own and becomes successful. That's how most folks remember those stories. But that's not what they were. In fact, in most of those books, the only way the character succeeds is because they've been working hard, sure, but someone sees their hard work and says, hey, I think you're a good kid. I'm going to become your patron, or I'm going to adopt you, or whatever. And basically, here's a ton of money. And that's not independence. That is interdependence. And I think that is what I want you guys to understand. I want you to leave this place and to be able to do a lot of things on your own. But I want you also to be able to and be free to and be encouraged to ask for help. No one makes it all on their own. I have had help my entire life. I've had people help me financially. I had someone help me pay off my last semester of college. I've had people help me relationally, just give me advice. I've had some great mentor teachers in my career. I've had some great mentors personally. And without their help, I would not be here. I would not have made it. And I want you guys to understand that there is no shame in asking for help. There is nothing wrong in being an adult who needs guidance, needs assistance. What I don't want you to be helpless, because I want you guys to know your strengths and be independent in the areas you're strong. I want you to know your weaknesses and to ask for help from friends and family in the areas you're weak. I want you also to be independent enough to help others. I've often said that if everyone in the world looked out for everyone else, then no one would have any problems. Because if I'm on my own, it's me versus the world. But if I'm looking out for the world and the world looks out for me, then I've got 7 billion people who have my back. Now, it's kind of optimistic, and we're literally watching a war take place in Europe. So that's not really. There's wars in Africa, constantly. That's not really a very how should I phrase this, realistic assessment of life. But it's an ideal I kind of cling to. I wish that we were all better at looking out for one another. And I think that focusing on the idea of interdependence, being independent where you're strong and being dependent where you're weak, gives us a lot of room for growth, and particularly the growth of the kind of relational connections we need to foster a positive society. So guys, know yourselves. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses, be quick to ask for help when you need it, be quick to offer help when you see others need it, and we'll build a better society. That's all I got for you guys today. It's a pretty short one. Have a good day. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.